Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Roland Sports. I'm Tyler Rowland. We're coming to you from the Ashland Invitational Tournament. And with me is one of the players from Simon Kenton, the 7'3", Gabe Dynes. And Gabe, good to see you here. And first off, talk about this tournament. And you guys have had a wild ride in it, I know. Of course, 8 good teams going at it. And talk about your experience and what that's been like here.
It's been awesome. It's our first overnight tournament like I've ever been in, like ever, except like AAU. It feels like it's AAU, but for a high school team, and I love it. I love this tournament. I'm having a great time. Been good games too.
What led you to the sport, and talk about that and your growth in the sport?
So a big thing for big guys is like development, slow development, and I developed like really slowly. I played basketball in 5th and 4th grade. And it really wasn't for me. I never played ever. I would maybe average 2 minutes a game. Then in middle school, same thing. I didn't play my 6th grade or 7th grade year. And then in high school, my freshman year, I maybe averaged 3 minutes. Sophomore year, didn't play any varsity, but barely played JV too. Junior year, I was out the whole year, which I think was a big part of like helping me like understand the sport of basketball. Sitting there and watching JV play, varsity play, and just watching film, seeing what everybody did wrong, that helped a lot. And then I reclassed with that COVID year, so I had a redo of my junior year. That was last year, and that was like my first ever varsity game. It was last year, and I think the biggest thing for me was just time and development. Just big guys develop slower, and I think that just time helped a lot.
And talk about some with your training regimen, because and as I mentioned, your size. Just seeing you play, because you run the court well. You don't have that awkward movement. What are some things you've done like that a lot of big guys have? Sometimes they'll struggle to get in position and whatnot. But talk about some that you've done maybe on the side to train, whether that's with your weights or with something on the cardio side that you feel has helped your development.
Blocked by Dynes. Quickly up the floor. Here's Bilton. Drops it to Dynes, who finishes with the flush.
1990 Lawrence County graduate. So he's back close to home.
The Bulldog. And right away, the Pioneers.
And it's thrown in. Miller fronting.
Dynes.
You mentioned his hands.
His hands are great.
Yeah,
So I used to have really bad, like, just body aches. My knees would hurt, my back would hurt, my ankles would hurt. And the biggest thing is just listening to your body and know what's wrong. Like, if your knees hurt, it doesn't just hurt for no reason. It's you aren't flexible enough, you're weak somewhere. And it's just, I go with, like, a lot of body weight exercises, like plyometrics and stuff. And that helped so much. Like, I feel I'm basically, like, I don't have any pain, like, no back pain, no knee pain. It's just, that's what the biggest thing, like, big guys, like, struggle from. They have knee and low back pain, and I'm basically good on that. It's like, I'd say the biggest thing that helped is just flexibility, though. Like, flexibility. When I was younger and growing, I grew like 9 inches one year, and it was like, if you're not stretching, you can't play basketball. Like, it just would hurt your body too much.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like stretching, and that's something a lot of athletes don't do enough, so you have a pretty strong regimen for stretching.
Yeah, I stretch every single night, foam roll. Just make sure you take care of your body. Even if you're not, like, playing basketball, just always take care of your body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and talk about being 7'3", and I mentioned out in the hallway that I'm a big fan of the wrestler Andre the Giant, but after seeing the documentaries on him and what he went through, I was thinking about that, because seeing you play and at your height, what are maybe some of the challenges that you might face that typically someone wouldn't have to face?
The biggest thing is clothes, but right now everything fits me. I get everything from the same website, American Tall. It's amazing. I just figured out about it like last year, and literally every single piece of clothing that you can see right now I'm wearing from there, and that's really nice. And travel is also tough. I had a Toyota Camry when I was like my sophomore year, a 2000 Toyota Camry, and I was like 6'5", and obviously I don't fit in that anymore, so we had to sell that and get a newer car, because I just get a bigger car because I couldn't fit in it at all. And planes and stuff, it's not even like I sit there sideways. I'd say those are the biggest things.
And talk about at Will for, I guess, a two-part question. Simon Kenton, and then young, what you like about the community at the school you're at, and also with Youngstown State, what you liked about the school.
I love SK, love the community, everybody around it. Love my teammates, my family's around it. And then Youngstown State, I love the coaching staff at Youngstown. They'll let me play basketball, like let me not just be a big man, not just throw me in a screening situation, like just screen and roll, and they'll let me like be able to play my game, and I appreciate that a lot. And they also invested in me and will like. A lot of teams don't want to invest in a player right now with the transfer portal. They're just bringing in people who've already played at a high level, who like they know 100% like is going to contribute immediately. And I think I still have a lot of room to develop, and they are investing in me and giving me time to develop, and I'll be a good player for them, I think.
And so you mentioned you grew 9 inches at one point. You mentioned a couple years ago you were 6'5". Looking back, did you ever picture that you would be making it this far in basketball?
Not really, no. I mean, always been a hope of mine, but it wasn't realistic. It was just like I was a really awkward 140 pound 6'5" dude. Like it was. I never played at any level, like competitively. I get thrown in at blowouts the last 30 seconds, and I always wished it really bad, and I believed it myself. I would say deep down, but it seemed unrealistic before a couple years ago when I hit my growth spurt.
Yeah, and Gabe, on the side, I know that you're probably a pretty busy dude with school, with everything, but what are some of your hobbies?
I don't do much, to be honest. A lot of basketball, a lot of school. Big Rainbow Six Siege guy. That's about all I do. Hanging out with my friends. I spend like 90% of my free time playing basketball or eating food. So that's about it.
Nice. And where do you like to eat usually?
I went on a spree there my sophomore year when I first was able to drive. Probably spent $500 on McDonald's in like 3 months. Texas Roadhouse, go there pretty often. That was about my 2 main places.
And is there any particular type of maybe music or pregame ritual that you have?
We don't have a lot of pregame rituals. I always do my same thing. Drive to the game, listen to the same music always. We have a game or a song to listen to after the game every time we win, and same stretches. I'm a very ritual guy. I do the same thing before every single game.
Nice. And lastly, Gabe, are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Griffin Elite, they helped a lot with my development. They went on a limb for me, letting me play on their Under Armour team, and I think that really helped me develop a lot, playing against people better than me and not just people like a foot shorter than me. I played over the summer in the Under Armour circuit for Griffin Elite, and they helped me so much with their training, all their trainers, and their AU team. They were just a really great program.
Gabe, we thank you for being on. We wish you all the best, and be sure to stay tuned. Keep up with Gabe and the Simon Kenton team. They're pretty darn good this year, and be sure to check local providers for opportunity to follow them. Of course, you'll see their games on the MyTown TV for the Ashland Invitational Tournament. And we thank you, Gabe, for being on. And time we're rolling. This is Rolling Sports, where you meet the athletes.